sport. It consists of a pool of mud, which is like hot chocolate mix and baby oil or something. I don't know what the fuck it is. People pay good money to get into this pool of shit with these women and get their fucking asses handed to them in the most glorious display of physical retribution. Like stupid businessmen being carried out on gurneys, gripping their genitals. And because we got an employee discount on their fucking rail liquor, we would go there almost every night. That's the only reason why. Now, Sabrina lived in a house in Laurel Canyon with a few other employees. So we had somewhere to stay. Unfortunately, on our last tour, our bass player, Skeeter, went home without telling anyone. So we wake up the next morning, where's Skeeter? Not the first time we've asked this. Where's Skeeter? Where's Skeeter? We eventually realized that he was gone. He went home. And we were stuck. That one thing we needed to survive, the music, was gone. I started tiling coffee shops in fucking Costa Mesa. Yeah, I don't have fond memories of that. It was around this time that I took a phone call. I called one of my friends that was coming down to Los Angeles. He was in a band as well. I said, hey, if you come down, we're here, we're stuck. He said, what happened? I said, Skeeter went home. We don't have a fucking band anymore. And it was around then that he said, have you heard of Nirvana? Of course I'd heard of Nirvana. Their first record, Bleach, was a fucking masterpiece. Dissonant, crazy, noisy, heavy, fucking amazing punk rock, classic rock, whatever the fuck it was. But I did know there was one song on that record called About a Girl, which stood apart from everything else in our underground music scene. Because to me, it sounded like a Lennon-McCartney composition. I was like, holy shit, this dude can fucking write songs. He said, they're looking for a drummer. They saw you play, you should fucking give him a call. So he gave me Chris Novoselich's phone number. I called him up, I said, hey man, I'm from Scream, I play the drums, and he said, we already have a drummer. We found someone else. I said, okay, cool. Just call me if you ever come down to LA, because now I'm living with fucking mud wrestlers in the house in Laurel Canyon the rest of my goddamn life. I remember one day waking up in that house in Laurel Canyon and finding a can of beans. I will never, ever use that expression, doesn't amount to a, well, it's hill of beans, but this is just a can. Because that fucking can of beans saved my fucking life. I said, call me if you come downtown, come down to Los Angeles. So, he calls back that night. He says, you know what, you should call Kurt. So I call Kurt and we talk about all of our love of music. We love Creedence Clearwater Revival. We love Public Enemy. We love the Dead Kennedys. We love... He said, if you can get up here, let's jam. So now I'm at another fucking crossroads. What do I do? Do I leave my best friends in Scream when the one thing I needed to survive was to play music and we had none, what do I do? So I called the one person that has always given me the best advice in my entire life. I called my mother. And you know what she told me? The most altruistic, giving, generous person, a woman that devoted her entire life to others, to helping others move on to the next phase of their lives. You know what she said? She said, sometimes you have to do what's best for you. And what I now realize, what she was referring to, was her divorce from my father. That's what she needed to do to survive. That's what she needed to do so that we could survive. So I packed up all of my shit into my duffel bag. I put all my drums in a box. I flew up to Seattle and I moved in with this guy. Now, this picture pretty much says it all. When I joined Nirvana, again, not like American Idol. Not like this chair flipping on The Voice. I was following the music because that's what I needed. I moved in with Kurt. We lived in this fucking little apartment in Olympia, Washington. It was like a back room of this house that was split up into 3 or 4 different units. It was fucking squalor. The kitchen was like the size of that amplifier. The fucking living room was tiny. I slept on this couch that was 5 feet long. I'm 6 feet tall. My fucking feet are hanging over the edge. At the end of the couch was this turtle terrarium. Because Kurt loved turtles. And you know what? He had a beautiful, almost poetic reason why he loved turtles. Because a turtle's shell is almost like a spine exposed. The most sensitive part of its body is what protects them, which I always thought was beautiful. But you know what? Fuck turtles. Because this fucking turtle, every night, at the foot of my fucking couch, wanted nothing more than to just escape, and would bang its head on the fucking edge of this terrarium every night. It was like, all night long, I just listened to this fucking turtle. Most people would run home with their tail between their legs to get the fuck out of there. But every day we rehearsed. We wrote songs in this barn outside of Tacoma, Washington. Every rehearsal would begin with this improvisational noise jam, and these songs would come from this. It was almost like we were practicing this. We were trying to develop some sort of like ESP, experimenting with dynamic, just to know when the fucking thing. The conductor of Nirvana was Kurt's Converse sneaker. Because we'd be playing this little thing. And I'd look, I'd see his fucking sneaker getting closer and closer and closer to the fucking distortion pedal. And I'm like, oh shit, here it comes. Oh shit, here it comes. Oh, here it comes, here it comes. And I'd see him lift up his foot and I'd be like, what? And he'd go bam, and we hit it and fucking blow up into a chorus. We spent 5 days a week fucking practicing in that barn. Eventually, record companies started coming to watch us in the barn. Fancy ass fucking